Hello everyone, this is Monstertaming coming at you in another Kindred video. My mic's a little bit janky now, but that's one of the reasons why I'm not making videos lately. But even with a janky mic, I wanted to show you guys this. Even if you have to mute the video and just read it or come onto the Discord and read it, I really wanted to get a video about this out, talking about it, because this is very important to Kindred Fates. So, we have the Kindred Fates end of year update. A letter from the creative director regarding story mode, combat arena, and what's next. With the end of 2023 quickly approaching, I'd like to take some time to talk about what we accomplished this year, what roadblocks we encountered, what's currently in the works, and what our plans are for the upcoming year. As many of you know, for the past several months, our team has been working very hard on internal milestones. We're very excited to say this milestone is now complete. Now that we've crossed that finish line, I'd like to talk about what this milestone was, why it was so important, and why it took so long. Initially, the objective of this milestone was to complete all necessary code and dialogue for the first half of the game's story missions. After 4 months, this was nearly complete, and we were beginning to shift our focus to the combat arena beta. Unfortunately, circumstances outside our control forced the timeline, scope, and purpose of this milestone to change significantly. So it'll be a good time for a reminder that due to contractual obligations, there are some things we cannot talk about even if we really want. What we can say is that every decision we make is in good faith to fulfill our promises we made to you. At that point, rather focusing on the first half of the story, playable but incomplete, it became critical we devoted all of our attention fully to completing and polishing the first chapter of the game. This chapter required some of the most intensive code changes to any section in the game, several complex, fully animated cutscenes, and a level of quality that was close to final as possible. It quickly became clear that the chapter could decide whether or not a publisher/investor chose to fund the remaining development of Kindred Fates, so it was needed to showcase some of the best the game had to offer. Without the highly polished chapter, the game what we all want isn't possible. Thankfully, it's finished, and the game as a whole is much better for it. Here's a short list of major improvements. Polished first chapter we can stand behind, mission logic and dialogue for the first half of the game's story missions, fully implement the character model, set pieces, animations, VFX, SFX, and dialogue for several of the story's most important moments. Complete tutorial for the beginning of the game, vastly improved terrain and environment art, greatly improved lighting and visuals, and greatly improved character shaders, and numerous improvements to the combat, feel, and AI. So, I'm going to give my opinions at the end of this entire thing, but basically, to sum this up, they couldn't talk to us about what exactly is going on right now because of publisher stuff, I presume. Combat Arena Beta. Now, many of you have been waiting for news on the beta for a while. Updates coming much later in the year than it should have been, and I apologize for that. Thank you for the apology, and thank you for the news. I'd like to give some context for why this happened. At the point when the scope of the player milestone changed, it looked like we would still be able to release the beta by before the end of the year, just later than we expected. Once it became clear we couldn't do that, I thought it'd be best to hold off on official announcement until we had a more concrete idea of when we would actually be ready. Developments on the first chapter and the possible addition of a publisher made things increasingly difficult estimation to make. While it's important that we're transparent about our plans, I didn't want to set the wrong expectations. I have to go back in a month or two later if it changed. Also, I didn't think it would help if I came to you with a delay, but no concrete answers, explanation, or timeline. In retrospect, it was a mistake to hold off saying anything for so long. I apologize for lack of communication and frustration it caused. We should have said something sooner. I can, however, finally say a few things certainly. Firstly, because the additional time was required to complete the single-player milestone, both the beta and the full game release has been delayed. The beta will not be ready before the end of 2023. Secondly, starting January 2nd, 100% of our art and development resources will be devoted to the beta. Lastly, we will continue to devote everything to the beta until it is complete. It should also be noted that because of additions we've made to the single-player side of the game, the beta will be even better than it would have been otherwise. We have breakdown improvements to the combat alpha, from the combat alpha to the beta, when we're further in development. But for now, expect new kinfolk, abilities, improvement combat, graphical improvements, performance, and quality of life changes. We'll also, of course, let you know as soon as we have a firm idea when we're expecting releases to be. For now, know that everything needed to be shifted back by roughly the amount of time it took to complete the milestone, which I think he said was about 4 months. What's next? The foreseeable future, all of our art, development and efforts will be on the Combat Arena beta. Our only other focus will be on acquiring a publisher investor, which is vital to the continued development of the game. After that, it really depends on the efforts with our publisher and investor. We'll have different plans for different outcomes, no matter the result when we get something in our hands as soon as possible. Well, when we get something new in your hands as soon as that's possible. We will, of course, continue to keep you posted on progress in our bi-weekly newsletters. To everyone who's committed to following the development of Fates, lending your support, passion, and constructive criticism, thank you all for being so patient and understanding with us. I know it wasn't a fun update, but I hope you'll at least find it helpful. Again, sorry for that communication. Going forward, we'll let you know as soon as possible, as soon as we do, about the changes to the schedule. Thank you as well for all your thoughtful, enthusiastic decisions. People don't typically write long analytical messages about things they don't care about. What you have written really speaks volumes. It's clear everyone wants this game to be the best it can be. Even if we don't agree on every choice along the way, we take the trust you put into us very seriously, and we'll continue to work diligently to fulfill our promises we made. Finally, it'd be wrong of me not to post an update without addressing the immense talent, passion, and sacrifices that we've made to get to this point. Every person on this team has pushed themselves far beyond what should be reasonably expected of them, especially those on the dev team. They've offered up a tremendous amount of their time and energy to make this game as possible. I'm deeply proud of each and every one on this team we have created together and what we have created together so far. We're looking forward to sharing it with you. Rob Cravens, Creative Director. So, my opinions on all this. This is all the news. You can go ahead and turn it off now if you just wanted to hear the news. But my opinions is, I agree that something should have been said sooner. I think something's better than nothing. Even if they said, hey, we have to delay it, we don't know how long, it's because we have to get stuff ready for our publisher. You know, I think that would have been fine to say. They could have said that back when as soon as they realized it, like, hey, we have to get single player ready to show publisher, or else the development of the game will be in jeopardy, so we can't do the beta. And I think basically everyone would have understood that. So they burned a lot of goodwill. I don't think this post is going to get a lot of that goodwill back. It might. I understand why they did it. I wish they would have done it differently, but I know a lot of people are very upset. I hope that it's not going to affect the game negatively. I want the game to succeed. But it sounds like they learned their lesson, and that going forward it's going to be different. And I would also like to point out that I don't think myself or anyone has ever blamed the dev team. Like he said, the dev team is immensely talented and passionate and worked far beyond what should have been reasonable of them to get stuff done. And I appreciate the dev team, and I'm sure everybody appreciates the dev team. It was more just a lack of communication that was frustrating. And Rob said he's, as far as I can tell, he's taking the blame for himself. He's saying this is his fault, no one else on the dev team. That's what I understand. Anyways, someone from SkyMill, if you're watching this, can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think that was very noble of him to basically absolve the dev team for any wrongdoing and take the blame and take the responsibility, and said that he'll make sure it doesn't happen again. And it's not the update we wanted to hear. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be disappointed that the beta isn't coming out this year. Even more people are probably going to be disappointed that the beta, apparently, from what it sounds like, is still not going to have any single player stuff in it. And a lot of people are going to be disappointed that the full game was delayed as well. But I think it was all the best it could be in the situation we found ourselves in. I'm just glad they said something before the end of the year. And thank you for the update, and let's hope something like this doesn't happen again. Let's hope we can all move forward and remember while we're here for the love of this game. But until next time, this is Monstertaming signing off. Hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye. God bless. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.